In our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. At
From Bamandait, Libyan I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? Nobody will know the paranoia. Cause I put a smile on my face, a facade you can never face. And if you don't know me well, you won't see how buried I am inside my grave. Inside my grave. Cause you see people don't really know you. They don't really know you. Cause you see people, they don't really know you. They don't really know. I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Or did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Or did you notice me? Oh, Holy Father, they drive over my head. I say make you no leave me, Tico. Holy Father. Oh, make you try to understand. Yeah, who can no day for you? Cause you see people don't really know you. They don't really know you. Cause you see people, they don't really know you. They don't really know. I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Or did you look for me? I walked in the room, eyes are red, and I don't smoke banda. Did you check on me? Did you check on me? Or did you notice me? I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days.
Wake up, rise up. It's the Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Did you check on me? Or did you look for me?
And of course, that is exactly what we want to do. Make sure that you start your day right. So let me say a very special good morning to everybody, wherever you may be, tuning in, tuning on, logging on. We're glad to be here with you on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio for short. It's now 6 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. A beautiful Monday morning. We're glad to be in your company. And you know what? It's really, really a fantastic day. And of course, we give God thanks and praises for bringing us together for another one. All right, so you know where you are. And of course, this is your breakfast show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning. Good morning on this Monday morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show on New Era TT Radio. And of course, Monday is always a difficult day because it's always a day like, God, I have to get up. You know, so it's always one of those days. But it's Monday and we are here to keep you entertained at least for the next 2 hours. And of course, to keep you informed about the latest things that are happening in the Twin Island Republic and around the world too.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning to our listeners and viewers, and good morning, world. It's an absolutely beautiful day. We are happy to be in the land of the living. Let me join Pastor Charles, in saying how wonderful it is to be here this morning, to be alive and to be healthy and to be well. And thanks for the wonderful people who have joined us already for the morning. And tell us what you think, what you thought about the graphics, since this is a high production here.
It's a fantastic
production.
Yeah. But I seen CJ from New York. She's saying good morning, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Boy Badesi says from DB, good morning, guys. DL says great rainy Monday. Is it
Where are
Monday?
you, DL? That's
Where
raining.
DL is. Not raining where I am.
No, it's not raining in Arima.
Yeah. And Wayne Ramsey says good morning, guys. So let's have some of the few comments coming in. Of course, we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and of course on the internet. Of course, if you are on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel as we move ahead. Woo! So
you know, I know we are actually now on the StreamYard platform. So this is amazing, Richard. I don't know what I was missing out on all this before. You're seeing everything. You're even seeing the amount of people who are looking at us. Was this always available?
I can't answer you. I can't answer you.
Ooh, morning to Gova, who is, of course, Carol Guevara, and good morning, Melissa from Champlain. DL, where is it raining? We don't know. The weather looks perfect outside.
Yeah, along on my side, it's very nice.
So how was the weekend, guys?
My weekend was politics, of course, as usual, and then I kind of rested yesterday. I had a couple of people come across to do some stuff for me, electrical and plumbing, and but Saturday, of course, I went to the PNM's meeting in Exeter, Spaniard. Wow, what a meeting! What a meeting that was! It was the atmosphere was something I haven't experienced in a little while. You know, it was very celebratory, and I think because Dr. Rowley was there, and he came to a rousing welcome, and he came without, of course, he didn't speak, you know, but I think people were just excited to have him there, you know, and of course, Larry Lala spoke on a PNM platform in a PNM.
But I heard so. Larry spoke on a PNM in a red PNM shirt, jersey.
In a red PNM shirt, Larry Lala, senior counsel, entered the political farewell on a PNM.
Imagine that. If he had probably made his move earlier on, he might be a representative in one of those constituents.
Well, you never know. Larry has never been a representative before.
He's never been a representative, but he has always been he's always been a member of the UNC.
Yeah.
And he has he has articulated for the UNC. He was a senator for the UNC at one time, not so?
Yes. And almost the Attorney General. He was a candidate for Attorney General for the UNC.
So that was a loss to the UNC, even though, you know, they tried to downplay the resignations that have been happening. But it's a loss.
Yeah.
In terms of, you know, the personalities who inhabit this space. And he's one of those voices that transcends the divisiveness of the politics.
Yeah.
Even though he was a UNC, he spoke with a kind of clarity about issues.
Yes.
And in his own way, he was always very steadfast about he is very steadfast about his opinions. So that was something to see.
So he gave a biography / resume of sorts. You know, and then of course he spoke about a lot of. I don't know if we have any. It would be nice if we had a bit of clips from his speech from the news. But he really. Oh, I think I heard my echo there. So, but he did wade into the UNC too, and the leadership of the UNC, and how capable he thinks it is, and whatnot. And he even spoke about Anil Roberts and David Lee, and he spoke about some attacks that he has come under, you know, and racist attacks. I mean, you can't attack him. You can't attack him because he's East Indian. You understand? So East Indian can't attack him, but the attack is the color of his skin and oh, this place is sick now. That's sick sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
So just like that, he comes under attack. You understand?
But I know during the period I had gone during the weekend, I went to the 15th celebration of Napa. It was called This Is Art, and it was such a wonderful experience. And of course, I think it's quite suitable for our good news.
All right, take it away.
Because this concert, which was the National Philharmonic Orchestra, National Steel, the National Steel Symphony Orchestra, and also the Theatre Arts Company under Napa. I mean, and it was like an hour and a half. The entire downstairs where was packed. I'm not so sure what people upstairs. Maybe there were people upstairs too, because it was packed. A lot of the audience was a mix of, you know, different ages, but a lot of young people. And there were a lot of young people on stage. It was such a wonderful experience. And I felt so hopeful from the music, the acting. And I mean, I could probably see if I could pull up. Yeah, I'm going to give you a little excerpt of what happened at the show.
This strikes swiftly dancing our theatre, rooted deeply in why are you also? It's the right.
Just some quick excerpts from
Where was this, at Napa?
at Napa,
Oh, the layout looks wonderful.
and it was $50 a ticket, and it was just packed, and the applause was so. I mean, they got. People stood up at the end, but a lot of it was so many young people on stage, and it makes you, and so many young people in the crowd, and of course appreciating what art. And I'm like, you felt hopeful. I felt hopeful as a creative sitting down in the audience that, a lot of times you get into these things that so many things that, and there's so many things that are wrong and need fixing in Trinidad and Tobago space. But when you see things like that, you get hopeful that, there's so many things that are right.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget that because we get preoccupied with the crime and sometimes the negativity of the politics and the million things that happen in this space. But there are a lot of positive, beautiful things happening. So that was all good news for the day. What I went to a concert over the weekend.
Give us the little good news thing again.
Give you a good news thing again?
Yeah, at the end.
You get it, Wendell. You got
Yeah,
it?
man.
I think Wendell is enjoying that theater that has just
I'm enjoying Richard's production of the proceedings.
I think we really need to compliment and thank him.
Yeah. Richard worked very hard over the weekend producing what you're going to be seeing over the next few days, and certainly the time that we're here. You're going to get an idea of Richard's talent. You're going to see it before, after, and during the show. All right. You'll just hear me, but you'll see Richard.
Well, apparently, now we're getting into the bacchanal. Because there's always a bacchanal.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about nomination day. And all of the people who did not make nomination day because it was a Form 37 and it's a Form 36. And I know there are a lot of memes with Raw Talk and her blue dress, and they've now made memes of it, like a Simpson memes or whatever.
But
they have different memes.
But Richard, Simpsons actually had an episode with someone in that dress. How is that possible?
Well, okay. But Raw Talk had the wrong form, and there were several, and I assume that there were several candidates from the All People's Party under Miss Jackson that didn't file the nomination papers in time. Here's my take. What level of ridiculous bureaucracy that your nomination papers has to be a particular Form 36 or Form 37, and if you didn't get it, you didn't do it right. What a ridiculous affront to the democracy of Trinidad and Tobago.
Richard,
the nomination papers, the nomination process should be a simple process of whatever form that you could fill out right there, show your ID and prove that you're a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, what party you represented, you fill out on the form and pay your $5,000 or $6,000. This government bureaucracy and nonsense of it have to be Form 36 and Form 37 or Form 39A or Form 39B that came from the colonial era needs to stop.
Okay. I can respond to that when you're ready. I can respond to that because I have been a candidate in elections before, in 1999, in 2003, in 2010. I'm well aware it is a lot of work. Hence the reason why the Elections and Boundaries Commission would have what they call a dry run prior to the nomination day process. They invite all the parties to go through this dry run where the forms will be examined by the returning officer. You understand? So that you will know that on nomination day, everything is above board. Now, candidates, you don't have to be there for nomination day as a candidate. You can appoint an election agent to appear for you, which is why they have different forms. So there's a form for if you, the candidate, have to follow, and there's a form that your election agent will have to will have to follow in the event that you are not there.
But Wendell, my point is, it's fundamental to our democracy of whoever wants to go up for election. If Raw Talk wants to go up for election, that's the business. That's a prerogative, whether you like it or not. That's the prerogative. And the process should be simpler. So why there can't be one form that says, who is filling out this form? Client, candidate, or election agent? Tick respective box.
Richard, I am not getting into personalities, you know. I'm just saying there is a process, and that process, right?
I am hearing you, Wendell, and I am saying the process needs to change.
All right. So let's
be simpler. It should be simpler. It should be even something that you could do online.
Okay. So we could do that as a poll today, because I know the process, and a lot of people,
because you are accustomed, and it's advantageous to establish parties.
Well, Richard,
they would have the infrastructure in place to understand, to make sure that somebody, even if they knew, like let's say Hans, there would be somebody to guide. This is the correct form from the People's National Movement.
Right, Richard, which is why I mentioned.
I'm just saying, Wendell, that in furtherance of our democracy and making it as equitable and easy as possible, those processes need to be simplified.
Okay, so we can argue that. I have no problem. But Richard, remember, election is the democracy is what prevails at the end of the day, you know, because you want everything above board. You must, you must, as a candidate, you must get signatures, the blessings of people who are registered to vote in your area. That is one of the requirements, right? You must get at least 8 of these people, and these people must be appearing on the list of electors, right? That's one of the requirements, right? So you have to go and find 8 people, let's say 8 to 10 people. Let's go with 10, who are registered to vote in your area. First, agree that you should be nominated.
I have no problem with that.
Right. But a lot of people don't know that, Richard. A lot of people have problems.
And that's what I'm saying, Wendell. So when you shut it down, that the day is nomination day, and this is the only day that you could do it, the process seems archaic.
Right.
There should be, in my opinion, a week of which you can do your nomination, and you should be able to do it online, and the people who are the registered electors can sign in and do whatever they need to do, and that could be cross-checked electronically. I'm just saying the process needs to change and be simpler. Okay, but everybody's rushing to meet a 3 p.m. deadline, or whatever the deadline time is ridiculous.
Well, okay. So, but you're missing an important thing, that there is a dry run a week prior.
And the main idea you have to have a dry run is ridiculous.
No, well, it is
because the process is so complicated.
It is complicated.
And that's what I'm saying. If the process was simpler, you wouldn't need a dry run.
Yeah, it is complicated. But maybe I don't know what are the reasons for requiring those things. But
I can tell you what the reason is, Wendell. It probably came through 1962. You forget where you live in?
Okay,
that's probably the reason.
So you know
it has been minimally amended over the years, you know, and the process remains something that you need. You need a whole dry run, like as a wedding dinner, to fill out an election form.
Well,
that doesn't ring wrong in people's minds.
Richard, I don't know if you know, but to get married also, you do a rehearsal, you know. The bride, the groom,
but that's what I'm saying. It's almost like it's a wedding. That's my point. That you have to go through a rehearsal to fill out a form.
You 25 years later, you still doing rehearsals American dance. Why?
No, that's different. This is a rehearsal to fill out a form. Are you understanding the ridiculousness of that?
Well, to ensure that your form is filled out correctly.
A rehearsal.
So you have a seamless transition on the day. That's what it is.
Which to me is unnecessarily bureaucratic. But anyway, you know what my point is.
Yeah, I understand your point. But if these parties take elections, they don't understand. Elections is not a joke. It's not with you making some karate kick and start a this is a serious thing, Richard. Elections is not about you complaining about the distance you had to walk from your car to the returning officer. A candidate for the UNC did that. They spent a whole night on social media complaining about where they had to walk.
Well, you
didn't know if you were there, the driver, and you would have known that before. You make a big deal about it.
Right, and Wendell, the nature of democracy is that all types of people can go up.
Okay,
that's the nature of democracy.
I can't argue with that, Richard.
If you want something else, say so.
Anybody
anybody's entitled to go up once you're
anybody could go up.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word nutcase, but the reality that anybody could go up. Okay? You're right. You're very right. So Finbar Collins, you're wrong. Anybody could go up.
What did Finbar Collins say?
He said, I love that the process is rigorous. If not, any old fool will try to go up to represent people. But the reality, Finbar, is that is any old fool can go up. Good morning, the Lips Celeste, Mrs. R. Good morning, Rena Boodoo Jennings. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. All right. But yeah, the nomination there, of course, Patriotic Front, Richard, I think is the surprise for this election. They have the Patriotic Front. They have 37 candidates in this election, Richard. Second only to the PNM. They have more candidates than the UNC. You understand? They represented in 37 areas. I think that's an excellent achievement.
Yeah, I thought so too. I see Michaela Pandey has he's lodged a complaint to the, maybe I could just read a little bit of it. Patriotic Front political leader Michaela Pandey intends to file an official complaint with the Council for Responsible Political Behavior about scare tactic against those members allegedly by two major political parties. Pandey confirmed yesterday that after a press conference at the Steelworkers Union of Trinidad and Tobago headquarters in California, where she officially announced her 37 candidates in the April 28th general election, the party will not be contesting Diego Martin Central, Diego Martin West, North, Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and Point 14 seats. The party was scheduled to put forward candidates for all 41 constituencies, but on nomination day last Friday, it was revealed that only 37 had filed their nomination papers. In a release, the Patriotic Front alleged their prospective candidates pulled out of the race due to scare tactics. In the release, the party said that since announcing its intention to contest all seats, harassment and intimidation of our candidates began. This continued after the announcement of our second and third batch of candidates on the 10th and 28th of March, respectively, by some high-ranking members of the government and the opposition. So, I mean, at some point we're going to have Michaela Pandey on so we can ask about that.
Yes.
You know, if she's willing to delve a little deeper into the details.
But those areas are all West Trinidad.
That she's not contesting. Yes.
Oh, no, I think one in Point 14, right?
One in Point 14.
Right. And the other areas
but
are
most in West and in the Port of Spain area.
But those areas are all PNM areas too, based on what you called out just now. And strong PNM areas. Yeah. Why would PNM, if I can't see PNM engaging in scare tactics to Michaela Pandey in those areas? I know Michaela Pandey are causing some problems in Couva North, especially where she is in fact the candidate. That's where they should be scared. She is the candidate for Couva North, and they recently put Jolene John there. they've removed Rudy Embarrassing and put Jolene John there.
Yes, she's in Couva North,
Yes, which is
which
the
is the
area
same
that
seat that Michaela Pandey is going up for.
yes, which is the area that Basdeo Pandey represented for years.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting race.
It will be interesting
To see how that race goes. Because there's still a lot of people that love Basdeo Pandey.
Yeah.
God rest his soul, and by extension, some of that love will feed over into Michaela. But Michaela is, you know, I would have said it previously that Michaela Pandey, I think there are many people who would be willing to give her a chance.
Yes.
I just felt that she needed to be more vocal on a lot of issues and more out in the public's eye than she has been. I know she has done stuff behind the scenes. She has her social media presence and stuff, but you know, having much more, for example, town hall meetings in different places. For example, I can't think of any town hall meeting that took place in Arima by any party, actually, come to think of it. Not the PNM, not the UNC.
And the UNC had one on crime over the weekend, Friday or Thursday or sometimes so.
Say that again?
I think the UNC had a town hall meeting on crime recently.
In Arima?
In La Jolla, I think it was.
At St. Joseph.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Arima.
Where's Alexander from? Tunapuna. Somewhere in Tunapuna they had one.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, so that even the presence of, like, for example, I don't know I'm just saying right now, I don't know who the candidate for the Patriotic Front is in Arima.
Right.
I have no clue. I mean, we know for PNM, I mean, it's Penelope Beckles, Robinson. And for, I think for UNC, it's some Moses guy. I'm not too sure he is Nigel Moses or something like that. I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure who he is.
Yeah.
But I know who they are. And I know for NTA is Jazzy, but what is Jazzy real name?
Jazzy knew.
But I know he went up for UNC last time when there was one vote.
Yes.
In the local government. So he is going to play NTA. But the only reason I know that is because I met him in Arima and we stood up talking for a while. And he told me that he was going to be the candidate for NTA. That's what he told me. I don't know if he got past the hurdle of the nomination process.
Well, the UNC has 39. They got all their 39 in.
Not UNC, he's NTA.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. I'm not sure how much NT is doing, but we could speak to Gary at some point in time also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but 17 parties, I think, in all contesting the elections. Patriotic Front, PNM is in all 41. They're the only party that has all 41 candidates again. The UNC has 39. Well, the UNC amalgamation because they join up with COP and the unions and so on, right? So in all, they have 39. Patriotic Front will have 37. I'm not. I think the NTA is about 14 or 15, somewhere there about. If I'm not mistaken, I think that number.
I think it's about 15. Or so.
Yeah, that number kind of resonates with me. And of course, there are other independent and the smaller parties. There's two parties in Tobago, the PDP and the TPP, along with the PNM in Tobago. I'm not sure if Mrs. Sawyerfat Angus is also contesting in Tobago. I'm not sure. But I'm sure the papers doesn't have a comprehensive list today, Richard.
Comprehensive list? I haven't gone through it. Maybe there is, but
I'm sure that there will be.
But I haven't gone through all the dailies at this point. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want to go through some of the comments, Wendell. But sure. Also, what happened over the weekend was that incident at the maximum security prison.
Yeah.
Apparently, an inmate died, and just a little bit of the story. Let me just read a little bit while you gather the comment section there. No arrests have been made following a gang clash at the maximum security prison on Saturday, which resulted in the death of an inmate and injuries to two others. Prison authorities confirmed that the incident was a gang-related altercation involving improvised weapons. Inmate Brent Batiste was stabbed to death during the fracas. In response, the MSP was placed on lockdown by both police and prison officials. Yesterday, the TTPS revealed that homicide officers and other investigators visited the prison alongside the Commissioner of Prisons. Several individuals were interviewed, however, no one has been detained as yet, and investigations are ongoing. So that was something that went on social media because there was some video footage of it because guess what? Prisons do have phones. And so there was some footage that was leaked to social media about the frack, and you could see the guys carrying a body, what looked like a body, or whatever. I mean,
Was that the blurred footage that you saw?
I didn't actually see the footage. This is what people were explaining to me.
They showed footage on news last night, and I was wondering why is it blurred? Because you see footage of incidents abroad in prisons, and they don't blur anything. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's sad that but there was an incident also too, by the prisons in Port of Spain the other day, because when I was going, that was nomination day. It was nomination day Friday also, right? So when I was going, when I left the nomination process with Minister Scotland, I went into Port of Spain to have a meeting, and the roads around the prison was blocked off. And they were searching. I actually drove up Pembroke Street because that's the only way you could have passed. You had to go around, go up Pembroke and go around. There were several prisons officers in the road with dogs, and they were actually searching a car. A dog was inside of the car and searching, you know? So something happened also too in Port of Spain. I don't know what, but I haven't seen it on the news.
Yeah.
But something happened that they had to block off road, and they were actually searching cars in the area with dogs. There were several prison officers around the prison that day, you know, and police officers too, you know. Something happened there that day, but I haven't seen or heard about it, you know. Yeah.
All right, do you want to go through some of the comments?
Yeah. Well, I would have read greetings from others before, being Ramsey, DL, Boy Bidesi, CJ, Gova, Melissa Morning, Rena Boodoo Jennings, Finbar Collins. Rena said they called Larry, they called him a tar baby. He did say that on the platform. That's what he was called, a tar baby, because of his dark skin. Could you imagine that?
Imagine anything with humans, you know.
Hey, but true, right about now, you're right. Rena Jennings says, you're right, Wendell, scare tactics from PM. And Ray says, good morning. Rena also says Alexander lives in Arima. Well, you know, they don't have that requirement in general elections. You couldn't be from anywhere and represent anywhere, you know? So those are some of our commenters this morning. Of course, all these people are very special people to us from over the years, and we're happy to have you back. Please spread the word that the breakfast show is back on. You understand? I know a lot of people would have gone through those horrible withdrawal symptoms over the last 3.5 months. You know, but we are back, and we are happy to be back. All right? It's just Richard and I for now. You never know who will join us at some point in time. You never know.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we are guided by Sir Charles with his onboard skills. All right.
We also need to send our condolences to the family of Mark Loquan.
Oh yes, that news
would have passed
yesterday.
Yeah, he would have passed, and I think I think it was the Prime Minister Stuart Young.
Yes,
who had indicated that he had passed. Yes. So that broke on social media yesterday too. Of course, Mark Loquan was he the chairman of NGC? Or
yes, he was. He's been heading NGC since 2016.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we pass our condolences.
And he was an Order Republic of Trinidad and Tobago medal recipient. I think it was last year he received that medal from the President of the Republic, Christine Campbell, last year.
And he was emotional about it, wasn't he?
Yes, he was very emotional about it.
Yeah, he was emotional about it. I suppose, you know. And so, but he was the president of NGC for a while.
Mm. Yes. And of course, he suffered. I think his brain cancer. He was diagnosed with last year.
Yeah. And I think he was recovering in the recovery phase from
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah.
So that's some sad news with regard to Mark Loquan.
What else happened over the weekend? Of course, as I said, the politics heating up. The UNC issued a why UNC? They can't help it. Huh? They issued a letter from the fire services that the fire services had to come back and say after they never issue any letter. They said that the Center of Excellence was overflowing and the fire services had asked them to shut the doors. Fire services said, no, we did no such thing. You understand? And had to debunk it with fake news.
I came in I came in at the end of it. All I was seeing when it was on social media was fake. A big FAKE across, different things. And I was like, oh, okay. Something happened.
Yes, they sent it out on a fire services letterhead that fire services advised them to close the place because of the overcrowding. No! I see the news inside there, that room. That plenty room. You and see your goodness, what is stopping you?
Behave.
No, they need to behave, Richard.
But PNM was also in a Rima over the weekend. They had a big meeting on the street.
Yeah. I think they launched on Friday, Penelope Because
in a Rima by the Dial. I think there was a big stage and all sorts of things. I didn't go back, but I was coming from rehearsal anyway. So by the time I got back into Rima, it was with full swing. And I just avoided that area because I knew it would have been a traffic nightmare. So I just got home. And I remember I messaged you and you tell me I'm my bed.
Friday I came up with
you down by the Dial because you cannot persuade me to come down.
No, if you had said you wanted to come out, I'd have come back out.
No, I didn't. No, I had rehearsal, so I was late. As we talking rehearsal, of course there is a play on this weekend called Married and Mischievous, which is on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. at SAPA, the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts, and it's of course it's premiering at SAPA. And it's our, how should I say it? It's a premiere of a brand new comedy, strictly adult only. I have to say that it's strictly adults only. And well, I guess you can take in that.
From the producers of Mary Could Dance and Love Is a Walk, now comes the brand new adult comedy, Married and Mischievous. And when we say adult, we mean strictly adult. Married and Mischievous premieres in San Fernando at SAPA on Saturday the 12th of April at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 13th at 6:30 p.m. Yep, South, you get it first. Tickets available now. When married people misbehave, anything can happen. I could only drive one car at a time, but I still want to.
Of course, tickets are available at the SAPA box office, which opens today from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. And of course, tickets are also available at K-Squared Fashions at C3 Center and Brentwood Mall in Chaguanas and at Friends of Marabella by the roundabout. You should not miss it. And trust me, it's strictly adult.
Richard, I feel attacked with your plays now. I feel attacked.
You feel attacked?
Yes.
Right. Oh, you feel it's about you?
Yes. I think I talk to you too much.
You're giving him ideas.
So, Charles, did you notice that there was an ad that played just now on our show?
Yes.
What the bomber clad?
You want to get banned in Jamaica?
Nah, they'll never ban me in Jamaica. They love me in Jamaica. Trust me. But that's good. I'm sure to folks that means that's the signal that you can now advertise with our show.
Yeah.
Feel free to send in your ads. Feel free to get your marketing people. We are advertising on the breakfast show.
Yeah, and you can call the same number, 281-1315. Consult with Sir Charles.
We are advertising, all right? So, Mrs. R, get your shipping company. Yeah.
I want to do what you're going to have Mrs. R advertise.
No,
You're singled on Mrs. R. Boom.
Yeah. No,
Mrs.
well,
R, you could advertise. And I get frightened. I say, what Wendell going to say? She's going to advertise.
I look at you in the chat. Wayne Ramsey, of course, we can advertise Mugfest for you. CJ, we can advertise the transportation system in New York. We advertise it in New York too, you know. And Finbar Collins, I know you have a whole host of businesses that we can advertise for you, all right?
So some just on some little before we get to our morning poll, some UNC what should I call it? It's not already a full-fledged bacchanal. But
you mean the one with the voice notes from with
well this is AI generated, so you know
that is not AI, Richard.
Well, that's what they said. Wendell and Kamala Prasad says, and was it Farley? Farley
yes.
said that it's AI generated. It's not
real.
real.
Just like Room 201 was AI.
That wasn't AI. He never said that was AI. He said it wasn't me.
Yeah, same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
It was 201 or 102.
102 something else.
201. It was 102 backwards. It was 201.
Yeah, 102 terrorizing your water, Switcher.
No.
The first thing that comes to his head, it was 102. It was 102.
No, I tried to remember what was the room.
It was 201. It was room 201. So I think he chose that room for spite, knowing how he was on 102 for years. Maybe that's it. Anyway, let me hush you. Richard, go ahead. What is the bacchanal?
So, well, it's not a bacchanal full-fledged, but political scientist Dr. Vishnu Raghunath believes Kamala Prasad Desai's announcements that she has finally purged the United National Congress is her declaration that the late Basdio Pandey's influence in the party is now over, and that there is also no way back for his daughter in the party. On Saturday evening, at the Center of Excellence, the UNC and the Coalition of Interests unveiled their 39 candidates for the April 20th general election. Delivering the feature address, Prasad Desai said, "I have purged the politics of caste, class, nepotism, family connections, segregation, discrimination, and dynasty from the UNC." In a veiled attack against her former political leader and founding UNC member, she added, "It took me about 15 years to transform the UNC from a one-man show and hereditary aristocracy into a meritocracy." Well, that's not veiled to me.
That's very direct.
That's very direct. That's not veiled at all. And of course, so it seems as if she is throwing gasoline or some form of inflammable liquid that on the bridge and burning it to a crisp, that there is no possible reconciliation between the Pandays and the UNC.
That is not going to run.
At least under her tenure.
Yeah. That is not going to be taken lightly by Basdio Pandey's supporters and people who like
exactly, because there is a group of people or voters in the UNC that are very still love the Pandays. Eh?
Yes, and they would have listened to Richard, and they would have voted for UNC still because of the party that they will relate to. I don't know how they will take this latest comments by Mrs. Prasad Desai. You know?
Well, I don't know how they're going to take it, but certainly the elections in Couva North would be kind of reflective of how much power that name still has.
Yes.
It'll kind of give you a sense of that come April 29th when you're getting the results.
She'll be surprised. She will be surprised that PNM people will go and support Michaela Pandey. She might be surprised because PNM has a 3,000 to 4,000 vote bank in that area. They've always had it.
Mm-hmm.
She might be very surprised. And if Michaela Pandey could dig into her support and get that, as I say, that Pandey faction to come out and vote, and even the people who don't vote, she'll be surprised. Jolene John might be in for a shock. I was I was happy that Jolene John got a safe seat until I see Michaela Pandey say, well, I going up for Couva North. I say, my God, what they do? Poor Jolene. Like they want to kick out Jolene. They want to get rid of Jolene and Jolene don't even know. You
Well,
understand?
that just might, I just say,
Your
make it
conspiracy theory went at a whole other level. I think you are now an expert. You've graduated from regular.
No, it
You
has
know,
to be that they want to get rid of Jolene
you
John.
don't have a master's degree.
Who represents the
What-
PNM in that area, Wendell?
The PNM candidate in that area, I'm not sure, but
Well,
I'm going to get PNM
Well,
is
wait,
going to circulate the list with pictures just now. I don't know how I haven't gotten it just yet.
whoever it is now have a chance.
Well, yeah, in a kind of way.
Because if Michaela split it down the middle,
Hmm.
yes, and according to how many votes they would have lost by last time, that would make it very easy for them. They may very well capture a seat.
Well, this election is going to be very interesting, as I say, and especially where the pundits have been expressing about those promises that the UNC have been making on a platform, those impossible promises on what it could do to the economy. Mariano Brown weighed in on it. Dr. Marlene Arts weighed in on it, and Indira Sajiwan, is she doctor too? I'm not sure.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, Dr. Indira Sajiwan also weighed in on it, and they said it's impossible. It's going to cripple the economy. Where could that money possibly come from?
All right, more than full time, guys.
All right, let's go.
All right, so are we going with the
The EBC? Which one you want to do?
The nomination thing?
Yeah, you can add that because we could treat or you want to treat with the AI. This thing they're saying is AI. Do you believe the voice notes between Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad Bisesa is AI generated, as they have said?
Well, that's a little bit more backdated. We could keep that nomination day for another day.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow we could ask that question. So you want to ask?
Yeah. Do you believe that the voice notes that are circulating with Kamala Prasad Bisesa and Farley Augustine are AI generated, as they have suggested? Yes, boy, Bidesi, she was indeed an error. So I don't know how she could say she purging the UNC of that. She lucky she get through.
Was it Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad?
Yes. When she said that she had sent $100,000 for him in the last election. And he said, yes, we got it. First he was saying he ain't got no money, yeah? Watson Duke was part of the party then, eh? Maybe we should try to talk to him.
Oh, he was one of the he's referenced in it or something.
No,
I didn't
but
actually hear, you know.
He was part of the elections of the THA. He and Farley was still one.
So there's the poll. Do you believe the voice note allegedly between Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad Bisesa is AI generated? Do you believe the voice note allegedly between Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad Bisesa is AI generated? I have to say allegedly because, you know.
Richard, you have the voice note at all? You have any clips?
No, I don't have the voice note. And I know one of our comments, I think it was, who was it? I think it was Finbar. He said, you know, AI can't do dialect, them on dodishness. But I'm not sure.
AI has a certain sound that you can't mistake, eh?
No, not anymore, Wendell. But in AI now you can clone voices, eh? So you can clone voices, and depending on how sophisticated you are, you can get it to, you know.
So I sent the voice note for you in the chat there, Richard, just now.
So do you believe the voice note allegedly between Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad Bisesa is AI generated? That is our poll this morning.
Ooh, plenty.
Nice.
Plenty, yeah.
All right, so you can vote on Facebook Yes or no, YouTube, and you could send your messages. You could WhatsApp or you could call 281-1315.
All right. So let's start taking calls now. 281-1315. You can vote on our poll this morning. If we're going to try to play the voice notes for you after.
2811.
281-1315.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mrs. Bates. How are you? All right. You have any calls yet? Clone voice and dialect are two different things.
So do you believe the voice note allegedly between Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad Besessa is AI generated? That's our poll this morning. Of course, you can vote on all the various platforms, and you can call 281-1315. What's your opinion?
All right. So Carlos from Carolina said no, and we have a caller online. Good morning to you, caller.
Boy BDC says no. Gova says no. But I suspect Finbar Collins' vote is also no.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning. Farah Rockaway says yes.
All right. Morning. Farah Rockaway says he believes this is AI. And good morning to Mrs. John Bates. I was corrected. I said Mrs. Bates before. You know, these women like the double name, Richard. Mrs. John Bates.
Mm-hmm. Boy Bedesi, well, I'm not reading the votes. You gave Boy Bedesi already?
Yes, I gave Boy Bedesi and Gova.
Okay, they said no. Okay.
Both of them said no. Yes.
All right, so
and
do you believe the voice
says no also?
Ms. Dabadi says no also.
All right.
So do you believe the voice note allegedly between Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad Besessa is AI generated?
Mm-hmm.
That's our poll this morning. What says you?
Call us, message us on the different platforms.
You can message on the various platforms, or you can call us at WhatsApp or WhatsApp us at 281-1315, 281-1315. You can WhatsApp us or you can call us.
Mm-hmm. Good morning to Biznat Prasad, and Rina Budu Jennings says no also.
Two 281-1315. Do you believe the voice note allegedly between Farley Augustine and Kamala Prasad Besessa is AI generated?
So Sharon is also saying yes. So she believes it's AI generated.
I know some people would not have heard the voice note, so they're saying they can't vote because they don't know what we're talking about. So I don't know if maybe after the news we could just play a small snippet of it. Mrs. R says no. Richard Ambrose Blanc says no. And Rina Budu Jennings, I think I got that one already, says no.
Yeah, I think I had real. Mm-hmm. And Anna on the WhatsApp is saying yes. And Shirley is saying no.
All right. Anna Ram Logan voting.
I know it's Mr. I know it's not.
Good morning, Mr. Ram Logan. Good to have you on the show. Melissa Chaplin says no. That's been a teasing Larry Lala Saturday night.
It's 281-1315. You can WhatsApp, or you can call, or you can send it if you're on the platforms, on the Facebook or YouTube platform. Just look for New Era TT Radio. You're sure to find us.
CJ New York says no. Lester Cragwell says no. You got those, Richard? Yeah. And
Yep, I got them. So
think
do
up
you
until
believe the voice note allegedly between Farley, Augustine, and Kamala Prasad Possessor is AI generated? That's our poll. What says you?
Yeah, so Merlin said no. And Michael said no.
Dispute that which I am saying now. Very confident. Zero meetings with the UNC. Zero
All right.
meetings.
I know we are heading to the 7 o'clock news shortly.
What is that in the background there? Oh, that's
That's Wendell playing. That's Wendell playing his
Hey, when they're
Yeah,
trying to get
I was trying to play a little bit of it for you all.
Oh, okay. But maybe when you come back,
Farley. We should get Farley on the phone too.
all right. So we get up to 7. We are actually at 7 right now. So
Going to news.
yeah.
So just one more vote before we go, before we get
One
to
more
the
vote.
news. Alistair
And
Hart said no.
any
And
chat
thanks for joining us, Alistair. Nice to see you and hear you.
later.
Alistair says what?
He says no.
Okay, well, we're going to the news. We'll be back after the news.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
In stories making the news now. Prime Minister Stuart Young yesterday denied claims that the 10% tariffs imposed on Trinidad and Tobago by the United States were as a result of the country's relationship with Venezuela. He referred to such statements as misleading. Speaking at the opening of the San Fernando fishing facility, Young was asked about the statements expressed by opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessor after filing her nomination papers in Siparia on Friday. Of the blanket tariff, which, according to the U.S., is addressing trade deficits between the country and its trading partners, Persad-Bissessor said, "I think part of the problem with the tariffs there worldwide, but some of the sanctions I think revisited on us are because of the connection between the government of Trinidad and Tobago and the government of Venezuela." Responding yesterday, Young said the country had gotten the lowest percentage imposed by the U.S. at 10%. China got tariffs at a much higher level imposed on them. We got the lowest 10%. Guyana got 38%. So what did Guyana do? Guyana is actually in a dispute with Venezuela. You look around the world. You all analyze these reckless, misleading, and intentional lies, he said. One inmate is dead and 2 others are receiving medical treatment following a gang fight inside the maximum security prison, Acting Commissioner of Prisons Carlos Carraspe has confirmed. The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service issued the following statement about the situation. The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service advises that a fracas occurred between gang affiliates at the maximum security prison on Saturday, April 5, 2025. According to an interim report, there was an altercation between gang affiliates, which quickly escalated and caused them to clash with each other using improvised weapons. The emergency response unit was alerted and quickly responded, which brought the situation under control. Mr. Carlos Carraspe, Commissioner of Prisons, Segis, in addressing the situation, has confirmed that 1 inmate succumbed to injuries sustained and 2 others were recommended for further medical treatment. Hours before a scheduled meeting with Sandals Resorts owner Adam Stewart, Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, THA, Farley Augustine, made it clear, if Sandals is serious about reinvesting in Tobago, the luxury hotel chain must bring its own money. Come with your own US dollars, invest here, and do it on terms that respect the people of Tobago. Augustine made the statement during a political meeting last night, as Sandals looks to reintroduce its proposal for the island. He expressed frustration with the central government's lack of support for Tobago's tourism sector. I want to say that the developmental intrusion project product cannot be just building a hotel either. While Augustine emphasized that he has no issue with Sandals, he reminded supporters that the original proposal from the company was previously rejected by Tobagonians. Let me be clear, I have no issue with Sandals. And I said, cherry-picking some things from a statement going back to probably 2017 or 2018, when Tobagonians rightfully rejected the Sandals proposal that was on the table. It is not being rejected now. He pointed out that the previous plan lacked meaningful consultation with the island's residents. That is what was supposed to happen. And perhaps you forget that Sandals wasn't coming here to spend its own money. Sandals was coming here to spend the taxpayers' money from Trinidad and Tobago. Rhyme Minister Stuart Young says the creation and passage of laws to make corporate manslaughter an offense is something which must be considered very carefully. He made this comment after a tour of a new fishing center at Kings Wharf, San Fernando on April 5th. On April 4th, UNC/Oilfields Workers Trade Union, OWTU, Point Fortin candidate Ernesto Gezer said the UNC will bring corporate manslaughter legislation to Parliament once it wins the April 28th general election. The OWTU is a member of the UNC's coalition that is contesting the election. Gezer made his comment about the February 25, 2022 Paria diving tragedy. On that day, Land Marine Construction Services, LMCS divers Rishi Nagasar, Kazim Ali Jr., Faisal Kurban, Yusuf Henry and Christopher Boudram were doing maintenance work on a 30-inch underwater pipeline belonging to Paria when they were sucked into it. In its report, the Paria Commission of Inquiry, COE, said there was not a strong enough case to prosecute any individual, but the law allowed for a corporation to be charged with manslaughter. The report said the commissioners were reminded to recommend to the DPP that on the evidence, they find there are sufficient grounds to conclude that Paria's negligence could be characterized as gross negligence and consequently criminal. The COE recommended that the DPP charge Paria with corporate manslaughter. That's the news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Bringing you full discussions, the hottest topics, and some tracks to keep you moving. The Drive Time Exchange on Net Radio, taking you above and beyond.
Wake up with the Net Radio Breakfast Show. Rise and shine with Wendell Stevens and Richard Raghubarsing, weekdays from 6 o'clock to 9 a.m. Start your day feeling good, energized, and informed as we tackle the biggest issues of the day, get you where you need to be on time, and keep you in the know about everything that matters. With elections coming up on April 28th, we bring you insightful discussions, expert analysis, and the latest updates so you're always ahead of the curve. Mornings matter. Your voice matters. And it all starts right here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio. The Net Radio Breakfast Show, weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. Wake up informed and stay ahead.
The future of radio is here. New Era TT Radio, Net Radio. Let's go.
God, that what she like. Don't turn off the lights, that what she like. Can't believe a sweet, sweet girl like you would I tell ya. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah. No feelings, just walk it up like you mean it. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah. No feelings, just walk it up like you mean it. Girl, wine and go down, waistline flow like a melody. Go down, pretty, pretty girl, you are the recipe. Go down, fire in the kitchen, my girl, how you cook them, let me see. Nice man can keep your interest. Come with flowers and they get dismissed. You have to handle the business proper. Oh Lord, tell you what she like. Tell you what she like. She wants some action in she life. Come good or just don't come at all. Tell you what she like. Tell you what she like. Tell you what she like. I put down the work. Watch how she face light up. Boy, no sweetness, die she weakness, yeah. No feelings, just walk it up like you mean it. No sweetness, die she weakness, yeah. No feelings, just walk it up like you mean it.
Coming on the life like snaking out the grass. One with your fitness in your right back.
Well, I don't have time to beef. Lucky for you, my friend. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't cost in a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. My friend and them could I tell you about me. Good people, this good people. We only want love and be so good. Yeah. Before my leg could I tell you about me. Good people, this good people. We only want love. Well, every man make the choices. I said we make sacrifices. We block out the noises. We have to forget the voices. One day we gon' make it. You don't have to fake it. I give you my best. I give you the chain of my neck. I give you my love and respect. But now hear the story. Is you vex with me? Like I do you something. Like I do you something. When I hear the shout now, is you vex with me? Like I do the wrong thing. Like I do you something. Oh, it's a good thing. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't cost in a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. My friend and them good at
Just got back. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show. With the best music and real talk.
Could I tell you about me? Good people, it's good people. We only on love.
Well, we are back on the inside. Good people, good people, and bringing to you a good vibes and a good spirit. Yeah, and waking you up in the mornings. And New Era TT Radio. Yeah. And it's really fantastic to be here with you. And of course, waking you up wherever you may be, whether you're here at home in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, or the wider world, we welcome you. All right, so my team, let me finish up. How do you coffee and
I'm still having mine actually.
in a good spirit?
Breakfast.
You know,
but it is the breakfast show, so
yeah. Generally, I'm in a good spirit. There are some people come sometimes and try to disturb it, but generally, I'm in a good spirit.
That's fantastic. You have to try and keep your mind in a particular place. It's wrong, so no.
Oh, you're telling me? Human beings?
So should I give you poll results, or we have any additional?
We have one more vote from Island Girl. She said no. Cat Consulting Services didn't vote. That's Chris Toussaint. And good morning, Annie Bunyan. Richard, look Annie on the show.
Hey, Annie. Good morning to you, Annie. So I just want to
All right, I got two more WhatsApp for you guys. So Ricky says no, and Sean says no.
All right. If all you want to hear AI was in news just now, that wasn't Pali and Kamala is
Yeah.
It's as real as could happen.
Hey.
All right, so you had 22 people voting on the poll this morning, and of the 22 people, 19 of you said, but our poll, you just saw what the poll was, do you think that the alleged conversation between Kamala Prasad and Fali Augustine is AI generated or not? And we had 22 people voting on the poll this morning, and of the 22 people, 3 of you said yes, you think it is AI generated. And of course, 19 of you said no, it is not AI generated.
That is not AI generated. We all know that is the reason why the UNC does not send up anybody in Tobago, because there's an arrangement. And I don't know why Fali Augustine is not afraid to say so. Ashwood Jack was very open with it back then. He was part of the People's Partnership. Top joined the People's Partnership. They got into government. So what's the big problem? Just say, yeah, okay, we have an arrangement. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing immoral about it. It might be non politically unwise, but there's nothing wrong with joining up with the UNC Fali. Come on. And there's nothing wrong with saying for Kamala Prasad to say, yes, we have an arrangement with Fali in Tobago. There's nothing wrong with that. What you denying it for? Oh, please. You see hypocrisy and people, I get in my patience wearing almost it's down to zero with hypocrites now. It's down to zero. You understand? Just say we have an arrangement.
I still didn't listen to it, Wendell, but maybe I could play it through my mic and so that people get a sense of what it is, because you did send it.
I sent a couple.
Huh?
I sent a couple of them.
Well, the main one.
Play the first one.
Please not a member or aligned to any political party in Trinidad at all. We had no meetings with the UNC. We did not meet up with the UNC at any hotel in Tobago. We did not meet up with the UNC anywhere in Tobago. We did not meet up with the UNC anywhere in Trinidad either. And we have not had those meetings. We have had 0 meetings in person, and we have had 0 meetings via Zoom. Let me make that categorically clear. How do we collaborate in a more meaningful way? Because I want to set up a line of collaboration between the both parties. Right, so there's need to keep some formal line communication.
Last year, embarrassing to some people. We did send some resources to you. I hear that you may not have received last election.
As in the
Friday, yes.
As in the election had just ended?
Yes, sir. So I gave some money. I cannot put the names, but I don't want this is all the party business. I sent some money. No, I won't do that in a meeting. I had sent some money. But you all have something around Christmas or before Christmas. Then I just recent the election. I also sent some.
Well, the election, however, I think Christian Moore,
yes, I did.
$100,000 came. That came to the party, that came safely. But the collaboration that I'm talking about is more than fun.
Now, that sound like AI to anybody? That's somebody.
Well, our listeners can weigh in, Wendell. Let our listeners weigh in. Call in and tell us, did you find that sounded like AI or not? Because, of course, the parties involved are saying it's AI generated. Of course, people did vote already, but you could now, for those of you who are now hearing it for the first time, because some of you said you couldn't vote because you didn't hear it. For those of you hearing it for the first time, you could weigh in by calling WhatsApp calling us at 281-1315, because we're curious to hear what you have to say. 281-1315. Of course, we will be having guests and stuff later on this week. Our first guest starts tomorrow, I believe. So today is an opportunity for you to be interactive with the show and to speak with us. So 281-1315. Call us. We want to hear your opinion. We want to speak to you about it. What do you think? Do you think it's possible?
We have somebody here. So let's take the call and then we get back to this. Right? Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning to Sir Charles.
Morning,
Richard
Zena.
and Wendell, morning, and all those who love phone at home and abroad. Listen, I got up late, but I kind of skimmed through to hear what you all were talking about, and that was plain as day. Who the hell will believe that is AI? Well, by now, I think we get a sense of what AI is, how AI sounds. That, I can't understand what you're lying for. I mean, come on, man. As you say, it is very deceptive to be going on like that. Why I can't just come out and say, yes, we have an arrangement, but you see, they don't want people to feel that is the underhand thing that's going on. So he must be trying to be blocking it. And you add one more to the list. My answer is no. And all they must add to the list as we go along now, because we can have no only voting. So at the end of the program, you will have the total.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so add it to the list. Make it
the show?
Yeah.
RRZ Promotions.
She's the producer of the show.
RRZ.
We're dealing with numbers you want, man. Yes. All right.
Okay, no problem. Thanks very much, Dino. All right, 2811315.
I think we owe the listeners. I think we owe the folks an apology, though. We did say Anita Haynes Allen would be our guest this morning, but she messaged me yesterday to say she was a bit under the weather, so she asked to reschedule. All right, but we did tell you Anita Haynes Allen would be our guest today. She is a bit under the weather, so please wish her a speedy recovery. And we will chat with us for sure. All right.
Okay. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I have a bone to pick with you all, but no, it's not AI.
Samson.
Yes. Alexa not putting me on you all, so I joined in late. This is the first day. Nobody couldn't call me to tell me you all was back.
We've only been back for 3 days now, Well, this is our 4th day.
Okay, all right.
All right. So you still have a lot of time.
Yeah, but good to hear you, Miss Sampson. And I know Sir Charles is working on that issue that you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
All
bye-bye.
right. And hopefully you'll be able to see us on television also too just now.
Yeah, things are going.
We're working on that too.
2811315.
So we taken calls based on the voice note that you would have just heard between Fali Augustine suggesting to Mrs. Prasad Bisesa that yes, he got the money. She said she sent $100,000 through Chrislyn Moore. Fali acknowledged that he got it, and but he wants a little more collaboration, not just about money. It mustn't just be about money.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Good morning, Mr. Abadi. How are you doing?
All right. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning to Richard.
Good morning.
So, I believe Miss Kamala Prasad-Bisesa and her party always believe there are no smart people here. AI probably smart. AI could be a smart thing, but we humans are smarter. Because, Sir Charles, remember when you used to read any articles in the newspapers when you were in another place, and when you had to read, you're not even reading it yourself, you always put in AI to read.
AI read.
Right? AI read. And to be honest with you, I can't stand listening to AI reading. I just don't understand how it is sound like a robot, I don't know if it's a robot, I just saying. It is sound so robotic that I cannot stand listening to any AI readings. So I read and I followed through. I play the videos for those things, and I ain't lying to tell you that ain't song no robotic. It is a human. There were human voices with Fadi as clear as day, and Miss Kamala Prasad stuttering in between. And we know her voice when that happens, right? So the UNC can't fool us. They can fool the people, but they can't fool sensible people. And I believe they like to put wool over people's eyes, especially Fali, he doesn't want to have anything to do with Trinidad. Always, I don't want to do nothing with Trinidad. You're involved with a company in Trinidad doing construction work in Tobago, a company that is not into that kind of work, yet still you want to fool the people again. So please, the politicians is really lying, so that means all of them lying. You all have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much.
And as I said, there is nothing wrong with having a collaboration with a political party. There is nothing wrong with it. I just don't understand the dishonesty.
Sorry about that, Wendell.
No
Morning,
problem.
caller.
Good morning, caller.
Morning. Farrakh away here. Farrakh away here again.
Morning.
With respect to the AI doesn't sound like a robot anymore. Okay, and last year there were certain statements that were said to be made by Biden and Kamala Harris, which were later found out to be AI. Okay, so with this thing with Kamala and Farley, I voted yes, but honestly I cannot say if it is or it is not. And no one on this station, nobody listening could say that because AI doesn't sound like a robot anymore. Okay, it sounds like a real person speaking. All right, so that's just my contribution today, gentlemen. All right.
No problem. Yeah, man.
Okay. Thanks very much, Far Rockaway. Good to have you.
I hear New York was cold yesterday, Far Rockaway. You go on?
After people hang up, you like to talk to them, man.
I wasn't sure if they hang up. You never know. Sometimes they're waiting on a response from me, you know.
So we're taking your calls 281-1315. Of course, if you're outside of Trinidad and Tobago, you'll have to add the 868 code to it. 281-1315 on WhatsApp. We're taking your calls and we played some of the information concerning the alleged phone call or meeting between Kamala Persad-Bissessar and Father Augustine. Of course, there is more than I could play for you to Wendell send these and that second thing. And while we wait on calls.
You know what? I sorry, go ahead.
Right. Caller, morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Dina here again.
Uh-huh.
I just want to know, Farrakh, are we just trying to be combative?
That's all right.
Where's AI? You know that it's not AI. It's that blatant, that conversation, that putting in the raising of the voice and the thing and the so on. No, man, hell no. It is not AI. So people don't try to fool nobody else. AI.
And even with the background sounds that you're hearing, I don't know that AI is giving you all that.
Bitches falling down and bounced up where and knife and fork hitting and spoon hitting plate and all that, and you want to tell me that? Give me a break.
All right. I think the Father Augustine and Kamala Persad-Bissessar have to recognize that they have a bigger problem, that someone in their circle has been recording them. That's what they need to be concerned about. And releasing the recordings. The video of Kamala Persad-Bissessar announcing Barry Pattern as the candidate at Eid. Who would that come from? That person right there recording her. That's all. Somebody is in that function, pointing their phone at her and recording her and releasing it. You understand? That's the bigger problem. You understand?
Yeah, people within in a circle because nobody is close to them. They say that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's see a little bit about Farley defending, or
Let me make that categorically clear. And I am very confident that no one can dispute that which I am saying now. Very confident. 0 meetings with the UNC. 0 meetings with the UNC.
Ansel Dennis has accused the TDP of being agents of the UNC.
They are just continuing their version of their racist Calcutta ship talk. The TPP is not a member or aligned to any political party in Trinidad at all. The PDP stands alone. We'll win alone. We will lose alone if we have to. But we are not interested in joining any political party anywhere else in the country, for that matter. And so we represent proudly, boldly, Tobago as an indigenous Tobago party.
We can do it, but I'm not going to be shy about that. But the collaboration I'm talking about is the kind that will help us to defeat the people. Can them come out with the general election. Let me tell you.
So that's some of what he would have said. Was it very clear to you all what he was saying? Was it coming across
in
clearly?
some instances.
Right. So, but you know, I don't know if it's let me first of all agree with you, Wendell. that if they want to collaborate, it's not an issue. You can collaborate, so it's nothing to hide, if that's what you're doing. But I think there is a playing of, I think it's the argument is, but it's not an argument. The denial, I think, is semantics. This is what I think it is. I think that conversation happened, if it did happen, so let me go down the road. If this conversation is real and it did happen, it happened under the PDP. So Farley Augustine is absolutely correct in saying we at the TPP never had any conversation with Kamala Persad-Bissessar.
Oh, yeah, legal mind to come forward there, boy.
No, he's right.
But he's right, yes.
Because the TPP, at this point, in the current configuration, the TPP has had no conversation.
Right.
But the better question for the journalist or journalists asking him is, as a member of the PDP, when you were a member of the PDP, was there such a conversation?
Yes.
All right, so let me just stick up in for a minute, guys. I have a call coming in. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. God bless the day to you guys calling from New York. I just want to divert a little from this AI thing in response to observation about Farley's comment about the meeting with the Adams guy, Sandals guy. And I mean, that statement that he made, that to bring your money. I am not sure if that is a tactful thing to do, I mean, even before you have a conversation with the guy. I find that was really an out of place statement, really, so I'm not sure if you guys can weigh in on that. Have a great day.
That's the one with Alan Warner. I haven't really listened to that one,
We can certainly weigh in on that, because that became an issue. I saw that yesterday on social media, and I was a little bit taken aback. Because obviously, Sandals is sensitive from the previous interaction with the Trinidad and Tobago space. Sandals is sensitive to commentary and negative commentary about their entry into a space. They listen to it, they don't ignore it. Hence, them pulling back on the last Sandals arrangement that Dr. Rowley was trying to do. Of course, I just think Butch Stewart at the time was just fed up and say, Trinidad is just too much. I ain't able to do that. And he just tell Adam, stop that deal. Remember, we talked about it back then.
Yes.
And I said, that's probably just Butch saying, enough. I fed up. I had no time with this. It's too much. So that's what I think maybe happened. But Farley Augustine has weighed in because, of course, Stuart Young, but not only Stuart Young, the former Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, would have specifically said that Adam Stewart was coming, and I think it's today.
It's today.
And that Adam Stewart was coming, and that he was specifically inviting Farley Augustine as the head of the THA and PDP head Watson Duke to be part of it. And remember, we had a discussion last week about whether they should have also invited UNC to send a representative, because you want it to be a continuous thing, depending on whoever wins the general election on April 28th. But Farley Augustine did weigh in on that issue, and I'm trying to see if I could find the article. It
was yesterday's papers. He tell.
It's in today's papers too.
Okay. He tell them to walk with their own money.
Walk with their own, right? That's what he said. Chief Sex urges Sandals respect the people of Tobago. So you start already, to me, in a confrontational tone going into a negotiation process. A negotiation process where Sandals could be, saying, well, when you're going into a negotiation process, you have to know what you're willing to give up, what you're not willing to give up, what your strengths are, and what your weaknesses are. And of course, Sandals will be trained, they would have trained negotiators with them who are trained in negotiation. so they will know what are their strengths coming into this space. So does Tobago need Sandals more than Sandals needs Tobago? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line question, and I don't know who can answer that. But just a little bit of the article. Hours before a scheduled meeting with Sandals Resort owner Adam Stewart, Prime Minister Stuart Chung, Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Farley Augustine, has called on the owners of the luxury resort hotel to respect the people of Tobago. This is a direct quote. Come with your own US dollars, invest here, and do it on terms that respect the people of Tobago. Augustine made a statement during a Tobago People's Party political meeting on Saturday night in Crown Point as Sandals looks to reintroduce its proposal for the island. He expressed frustration with the central government's lack of support for Tobago's tourism sector. He pointed out that the previous plan lacked meaningful consultation with the island's residents. That is what was supposed to happen, and perhaps you forget that Sandals wasn't coming here to spend its own money. Sandals was coming here to spend the taxpayers' money from Trinidad and Tobago. That was the model. So the issue isn't even Sandals. We could get Sandals. We could get Four Seasons. We could get Mandarin. You name it. We would welcome any luxury brand, but it must align with what the people of Tobago want. It must be a case where Tobagonians win. And once Tobagonians will actually benefit from the arrangement, I have absolutely no problem championing that. In fact, I'll be the first one in front to do so. Augustine also drew comparisons to Sandals' investment model in St. Vincent, reiterating that Tobago deserves the same treatment, with Sandals funding the development themselves. Talks of renewed Sandals investment in Tobago resurfaced last month after former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced this during the commissioning of the A&R Robinson Airport. So that's a sense of, his stance on it. And I'm not saying that anything that he's saying there is wrong in substance, that you want Tobagonians to win. You want Trinidad and Tobago to have a win from any kind of arrangement with Sandals, absolutely. But your tone and so sometimes you need to articulate issues at the correct time with the correct tone.
We don't say it at the meeting today.
Yeah,
that's all.
To facilitate it, and how you say it too. In terms of all of that matters in negotiation. So I mean, we'll see how it all plays out.
The arrangement at the end of the day with Sandals is between Sandals and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know that it is between Sandals and the THA. As far as I'm aware, it's between the Sandals and the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So
well, part of the government of Trinidad and Tobago too is the THA.
Well, right. So THA will, of course, play its part. I understand that. But Farley, I mean, Tobago needs Sandals more than Sandals need Tobago, Tobago needs Sandals.
That's the big question. That's the albatross in the room. Is it that Tobago needs Sandals more than Sandals needs Tobago? Yes. That's the albatross, because that's your negotiating power.
Yes.
If Sandals really needs Tobago, because Tobago, I mean, we know what Tobago is. If Sandals, are you going into a position where you know what the outlook for Sandals is? You know which properties are doing better than others, so you can have that all part of your negotiation team. Well, look, we know your properties in Grenada and St. Vincent are not living up to expectation, and here's why. And this is why we think Tobago is even a better fit in that cluster. And whatever your arguments are, in terms of making your arguments.
But Richard, given the fact that what transpired last time, and the mere idea that the Sandals is willing to entertain the conversation again, that will suggest to me that there is something that Sandals is seeing in Tobago that they need, or they would.
Why, Sir Charles? I can answer that. The new airport, the new international airport, gives them that fillip now to bring in the people that they would have had problems with, because most of the people.
But that was one of the to be fair to them, that was one of the issues that Sandals and Virgin raised. that the airport didn't have the sophisticated enough facilities for their clientele. Now,
Right.
Sandals raised it on a different level, but Sir Charles, I don't know if Sandals reached out to us. The impression I got from Dr. Rowley was that he reached out to Sandals.
Yes. Yes.
And said, will you take a second look?
Now
That's
that
what
we
I
have
think
the
happened.
airport.
That was the
now that
sense
we
of
have
what I
the-
got from what Dr. Rowley said at the opening of the A&R Robinson
Yes.
project that, well, you know what I mean, not fully open, whatever they call it. They have a word for it. They have words for it.
Practical completion.
Practical completion. That's when you want to open something ahead of time because you want the benefit of it.
You want
You know I'm right, Wendell. So stop right there. You know I'm right.
I just think that the matter that they are looking at it again, that says that yeah, we because they would have been in the first case wanting to come because they saw something in it. Things didn't work out.
No, Sir Charles. Remember the first time around, they weren't spending any money on the facilities. The state of Trinidad and Tobago was building out the entire estate with the architectural drawings and whatever in consultation with Sandals, but we were financing it, which was one of the issues
that
came up. And Sandals was going to be the manager of the facility.
Right,
this is different. This is why Farley is raising the issue that Sandals should bring their own money and not depend on the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago.
He just jump in the gun. Just wait until the meeting and then say what you have to say. You know, you already, as Richie said this now, you're already having a confrontational action.
It comes across confrontational. I know it's very easy for Tobagonians to sound confrontational. I think it's something, I don't know if it's something in the water there.
That is, he's just trying to deflect from them voice notes with he and Kamala
I'm
Prasad.
talking about all Tobagonians generally can sound confrontational very quickly.
Yep, you're true.
Look at Dr. Job, God rest his soul.
I have a partner.
Getting ready to confrontational quick, you know.
I have a partner. His name is Rennie Christmas from Tobago. When he talk, he's feeling like Rennie quarreling, Rennie ain't quarreling, I know. Rennie's such a nice guy. Rennie don't be quarreling, but Rennie sound like he quarreling.
So people, we're taking your calls, you can call us, you can get in on the conversation, 281-1315. You can call, you can WhatsApp, you can make a WhatsApp call, it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, so we take your calls, but we just have to go for a quick ad break, and then we'll be back with your call.
From the producers of Merry Could Dance and Love Is a Walk, now comes the brand new adult comedy, Married and Mischievous. And when we say adult, we mean strictly adult. Married and Mischievous premieres in San Fernando at Sapa on Saturday the 12th of April at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 13th at 6:30 p.m. Yep, South, you get it first. Tickets available now. When married people misbehave, anything can happen. I could only drive one car at a time, but I still want to.
Miss Hayatali, that's not AI, that's actually Richard.
so we're taking your calls at 281-1315. You can also weigh in on the Farley Augustine issue and, well, the old Sandals issue. I shouldn't say it's Farley's issue.
All right. Well, while we're on the call, let me just let people know what's coming up inside of the afternoon drive time exchange with Tony Fraser a little later on this evening between 4 and 6. Right, so talk of Carnival in Lent. That used to be an unheard of subject just a short while ago. Remember Cotton Lent, which stopped you from saying and doing unholy things. Well, to compound that original sin, the chat is coming from Roman Catholic Archbishop Jason Gordon, who just launched his book on Carnival. Also launching a book on Trinidad and Tobago is scholar Dr. Ian Smart, who himself spent 6 years studying to become a priest, but eventually became an academic teaching at universities in the US. Well, things really changed now, and they will be discussing their works today, Monday, with Tony Fraser at 4 p.m. right here on Net a new era TT Radio, Net Radio. So you can join them, and you can also get the opportunity to participate in that conversation, right? So look out for that. It's all happening inside your Drive Time Exchange.
All right. Good morning to Beauty Culture. Thanks for joining us. And of course, for Hayatali, who's asking Richard, what is the name of the AI app you created your jingle? I tell her that's not AI, that's actual Richard.
For the app, American Dance?
Yeah. That's you, not so? That's not AI.
Of course it's me. But Wendell, you AI can now clone your voice,
yeah.
And make it sound like you.
All right.
And it's improving on Caribbean accents and all of that.
Yeah, improving it all the time, you know. Hello, good morning.
Morning again. I don't think AI could clone no that kind of Fali accent. And Fali
Gina, you'd be surprised.
Accent. Man, it is not AI. So let's be patient. That number, Richard, I called to congratulate you. That was beautiful. And I could now appreciate we will now appreciate the shows forthcoming when we see that kind of nice getting together and the little music in the background. It's perking the appetite for the show. You understand? Anyhow, I want to say that I want to use the word again that I can't remember the name of the oh gosh, that gentleman who spoke on Fali the very, very first time of his behavior. Those gentlemen who normally debate on politics, what do you call them again?
Oh, the person from New York?
No, the people who get together and debate on politics and politicians and so.
Martin George, you talking about?
No, I want the name for them. Together when you have politics.
Analysts,
right. There's an analyst that said that the hubris syndrome has overtaken Fadi.
Oh, a long time.
Very early. I'll call his name the next time. I have to write it down to remember who was the gentleman again. Because I know the name, I can't bring it now. But that hubris syndrome, you're always getting that kind of behavior in the voice, the tone. Take it down. He has to take it down. You know, all that important. You know, take it down, man.
You take it down after April 28th. When Champ for Kojo and Ayana Webster Roy win and the PNM win again, you go take it down. Watch and see. Because you know THA elections coming up the end of this year, right?
Yes, all that you won't get caught in, don't worry. All right. Somebody else get in.
All right, take care, no problem.
And then the Beauty Cultures are begging Tobago to please accept the Sandals brand, the other Caribbean island. The Sandal hotels are way ahead of us. Check it out, people. So says Beauty Culture.
I've been to 2 Sandals hotels before, right? I remember after I went to the Antigua one first on a birthday line. A lot of friends who live abroad came down to go to that. It was a birthday line for everybody born around that time. And I went there and I did a video of it and I sent it for Dr. Rowley. And he said, make sure everybody see it. Because at that time, the Sandals discussion was being held in Trinidad, right? And Tobago, right? And he had asked me to share it, and I did. How actual Sandals looked and feels like. Well, that didn't work out. The next Sandals I went to was Sandals in Grenada. We really missing out, you know. We are really, really missing out. Trust me.
If we get a good deal, we will be If we get a good deal, we might have it. Kola, good morning.
Good morning, Susan Jessup.
You know, I went to Sandals in Jamaica years ago. And when I went there, I was like, why we can't have a hotel like that in Trinidad, boy? And that was a long time now. So it was more than 15 years. So I was wondering if that would ever happen, because the kind of hotel it is. And I think at that time when I went, they did not want children. It was really for adults, you know?
It's still adults only.
The only thing Well, look at that. I
The
thought
other,
about
the other one is beaches. The one for children is beaches. And we were getting both. Both
Oh.
a Sandals and a beaches was coming to Tobago.
So I said, why they can't have one for children, boy? Because, you want to take your family and all that. But I hope the one coming to Tobago will be changed. You know what I mean? Anyway, coming to Tobago. I hope it coming to Tobago. Can I make one point other than this? Wendell and Richard, on the weekend when Miss Kamala Prasad was presenting her candidates, did you see, I'm not sure, I was watching it. Did you see when Philip Alexander came to speak? He was the second speaker. And he started to delve into theology and so on. In his early remarks, he started to talk, and you know what he said? What he wanted to say to Stuart Young tonight, he couldn't say it because he lucky him now. Stuart lucky to have children around.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, well, if you want to use a term like that, this obscene things you want to say to someone, right? And for him to say
the only language he knows.
This.
It's the only language he knows. He only knows how to insult and disrespect people,
And that is my point. And that is my point. You come into a meeting where you are presenting a candidate for people to vote for you or for the country to choose a government. And that is the kind of language you will talk. I would think twice before voting for you because that's the only language you know. You cannot talk anything else. And I find it was so distasteful, to tell you the truth. He turned me off, but I'm so glad I switched the channel one time because I say, you see me? If I listen to this, I might mash up my own TV while I buy back. You all have a good day.
All right.
Don't
I have to make a correction. It's Shamfo Kojo Lois. Shamfo Kojo Lois. I don't know. I know if it's the Lois name I have a problem with, but Shamfo Kojo Lois.
Kola, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Wendell. My thing is, we should bring Sandals. It's employment for people in Tobago. And it's just to uplift because at the end of the day, he's saying that Mr. Farley saying that how Sandals had to bring their own money, wherever. But at the end of the day, each have to go hand in hand. You understand?
Yes.
Yes, they bring them own money, but at the same time, they look you want people in Tobago to be employed also. So you don't come out bold like that. You have to go hand in hand. You understand?
Yes.
But I really hope they really bring Sandals on board. Like I said, bringing income to Tobago because Tobago needs Sandals. It's not like Sandals need Tobago. Because the kind of money Sandals have, Tobago can't say dream to have that yet. Plain talk, bad manners.
Yeah.
People might say that is very insultive, but it is what it is.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, thanks very much.
And Christopher, I don't agree with you. I can't agree with you, because a lot of the produce that they use is locally manufactured produce. You understand? And I'll tell you something. You go to an island like Tobago, we went to Antigua. I went to Antigua. I went to Grenada. Whilst the resort has almost everything you need, you still go around the island and spend money and do things, Because remember, you would have prepaid for your all-inclusive thing. So your meals guaranteed, your drinks guaranteed, your room guaranteed. But the other parts of the community, the other parts of the area that you're going, the country that you're going, you don't pay for that. You gotta go out now and experience that. And that's what people do. People still go out in the night or go around in Grenada. We went all over the place in Grenada. You know what I mean? People still go about and spend money on the island.
Because you're not going to just stay in the hotel all the time. Because already there, you're enjoying the luxuries of the hotel, but you will go and explore the island.
Naturally, and you will spend.
Yeah, if you come to Trinidad, you must walk downtown.
Yeah. So those are the things that people are not thinking about. They feel that they're just going to the resort and you're staying there. No. And where the mango coming from for breakfast? Where the bananas coming from? Well, I think it might actually come from Grenada. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the training, I think Dr. Oli referenced all that too, about the training aspect of it that will come with it. But I don't say what I want to say.
But obviously, if you have an influx of people, you're definitely going to need things and the local.
Well, it seems I agree with you. I think it seems logical. Now, in a Trinidad and Tobago, of course, we have the most vibrant manufacturing sector in the Caribbean, and a lot of the food processing happens in Trinidad and Tobago. So that obviously, I assume Sandals would use a lot of what we have here, including produce from our farmers and stuff like that, and probably some of our other entrepreneurs here who are doing food or service industry stuff, because there's a lot of things that there are all manner of businesses in Trinidad and Tobago that you have no clue about, unless you're looking for something specifically. Then you will see, oh, it have 10 people that do that.
Yes.
and it's amazing the amount of entrepreneurship that is taking place in all manner of sectors and niches in Trinidad and Tobago that it will surprise you. I'm always astonished when I'm thinking, oh God, you're going to probably have to get this abroad, and then realize, wait, there are people here who do this? And yeah, so don't assume we don't have it here. So I think that would be part of what, I think, which relates to what you were saying, Wendell, that there will be an interfacing with the business sector.
Naturally.
In terms of what Sandals provides, because they would want to have certainty and stability of whatever they need to make their product meet the standards that it meets elsewhere.
If there's a plumbing problem at a Sandals resort, where they feel they're going for the material, back to America? No, they buy any material from the hardware in Tobago. They will have the plumbers on site. Who will the plumbers be? People who probably are living in Tobago? Not so. If there's an electrical problem, you think they're going to go abroad to get a piece of wire or plug? No, it's right there.
And then, as I said, people on the island who doing different things, will now be able to, because you're getting an influx of people, so you should be able to sell some other things to these people. People looking for souvenirs, looking for all kind of things to carry back. Looking for things to eat. they will need everything in Sandals. They go and look for local food and all kind of thing.
I find myself, when I travel around the world now, going and buying fridge magnet for people. I have a bunch of friends who all they want is a fridge magnet, something to show that you went to some country, stick up on your fridge. And people collecting fridge magnets. I won't call no names, but that person listening now, sure.
Okay. Ms. Hajali, I think what you're asking is SUNO, S-U-N-O. When I would have talked about the power breakfast show and stuff, and back then when we were on the power too. SUNO, S-U-N-O. That's what I think is what you're looking for. There's another one called UDIO too, U-D-I-O.
Was that the AI apps?
I think it's different apps that she's looking at. So those are some of them I think that you can look at. Yeah. So I was just bringing up some of the comments. Of course, as you can see, Beauty Culture was answering Chris with regard to the Sandals comments. So yeah, it's part of the story. That's one of the stories that are going on there. And of course, that's going to make news tonight to find out what happened in that meeting, whether it's positive or it's negative. Some sort of feedback will probably will happen, because I'm assuming that you will have journalists in Tobago this morning to catch up with the meeting. I remember one of the things that Adam Stewart had said the last time that Sandals was thinking of coming to Tobago was that Tobago needed to clean up.
Yeah.
I remember, and we were like, okay, and we were wondering what it specifically means. Is it very much, a lot of rubbish unattended? Because you don't get that sense from Tobago when you're there.
No, Tobago. I find Tobago is clean. There has been.
But he said that. That was one of the things he said, that it needs to clean up. In terms of.
I don't know that Tobago dirtier than Grenada or Antigua. Tobago to me is very clean.
I just saying what the man said.
This is the man who in charge, so.
Well, but short at the time was the man who was in charge, his father, but his father since passed. But now it's Adam. So, but I mean, so hopefully it's going to be a productive meeting, because of course we know Stewart obviously has negotiating experience after being the kind of right hand to former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley And with all of those energy conferences and stuff like that, or energy negotiations they went to. So obviously he has a certain amount of experience. So we'll see how that meeting plays out, and we'll probably get a sense of it to maybe tell you all tomorrow how it played out.
I hope Fari knows Stuart does cuss, and he will cuss Fari tail away before you go into that meeting and say, "You better hush your."
How could you say that about our Prime Minister?
Anyhow, let's just take this.
You used to cuss to Richard, you forget that one.
Me?
Hold on there, guys. Caller, good morning. Very quickly, we're running out of time here.
Yeah, man. Hey, fellas. Good for you to see you back on the air. And,
Dean.
Yeah, no, yeah, man. Well, then, what's up? Yeah. Well, my thing is, as much as I like the thing, but I find Tobago have almost a lot of years in tourism expertise that you could develop a different kind of model. I mean, I hear the Sandals thing, but there are alternative models that you could develop that are as much as competitive. This new world that we're talking about, the social and how people interact and how you can market your space and place. You can rebrand. And you could even do it in a way that it's also, if you want, like the private sector thing that is community based, that people own it and own the plant and own the space that it work in. And I could go more in depth in it, because it could look like the same Sandals, but it's owned by people in the B&B business. Then it could be owned by people who doing. It have a craft area, that kind of thing. Then it can have the conference area, and all these things are owned in a kind of unionism, a cooperative model by different people, but it have one kind of look then. And I find those kind of models maybe a little more interesting to develop and the dynamics, but they have a better, more success in the how the whole investment is operated and thing. But we only talk about one model, but I know a lot of people in the tourism sector who have expertise. Payroll from Grande, my cousins and them was in the hotel 20 to 30 years. Tobago have like almost 100 and something years of experience in running their spaces, their own spaces. Why you can develop along those lines in a way that it could look like a Sandals, but it's owned by the people.
Dean, thanks much. Came in
because we're doing all the money, we're paying up all the money. It's every
we don't know that yet, Dean. That's what it was before.
The freedom and after I show the freedom and information, I don't know what they will negotiate for now, but that last one, it was everything. All they were bringing was the IP.
Yeah.
And I can tell you how important IP is. IP is have so much weight. Tobago have that IP too. Why you can't leverage Tobago IP to develop a hotel space?
Yeah, thanks much. Thanks much. Yeah, guys. Well, we're at that point, guys.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have Minister Hassel back us tomorrow, God willing. And we'll certainly have Anita Haynes-Allen during the course of the week and Larry Lava. We give you that assurance.
Yep. All right, so have a fantastic day, whatever you do, and remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. Theater is on this weekend, don't forget it. Saturday and Sunday at Sapa. Tickets are available now. The box office at Sapa opens today from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. And of course, the outlets that I told you before, K-Squared Fashions, C3 Center, Brentwood Mall, and Friends of Marabella by the Roundabout.
Richard,
have a fantastic day.
I'm going to send you a picture of my spare wheel cover, so I don't need to say the words "One Life Live It." It's on my spare wheel cover. I'll send it for you.
You want to do a video of you driving off at the end of the show so we can see?
Hey.
I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
One Life Live It.
All right.
Take care,
Wrap
guys.
it up, guys. Thanks for joining us today, and we speak to you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Is you excellent?